Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Masizana, and you're watching the LiQWYD YouTube channel, a channel that aims to build a community of women who are all about self-love, self-appreciation, self-acceptance, and self-commitment. So today, again, I'm not alone. I have a guest. So I would like to introduce yourself, or do you want me to introduce you?
You can introduce me this, I guess.
By the way, welcome to LiQWYD.
Thank
So
you.
I am with Elsie Masizana. Yes. And we're going to be talking about something that's interesting to me and I believe to everyone, which is healing after exiting a long-term relationship and actually an engagement. So yeah, one thing that made me want to bring her here before we go anywhere. But let's start the video. So as I was saying, that the reason I brought her here is because she said something that was very intriguing to me, that was very important to me, and I'm gonna tell you what it is. She said, I'm not going to hold a grudge on someone else because my peace is important to me. So holding a grudge means I am letting my peace go. So my peace is so important to me. I'm not going to hold a grudge. No matter how badly someone has hurt me, I'm not going to hold a grudge because my peace is important to me.
Definitely.
Yes. So before we get into that statement and how you came to believe that and know that, because it's so wise. Yes. Tell us about the most traumatic hurts that you've been through, which we were talking about a bit yesterday. What happened? Just a summary of what happened.
Okay, so I should summarize my relationship, how it was, or
How it started, how it was for all these years, and when did it start to be shaky?
To shake it.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh well, I wouldn't give my relationship a specific time because the person I was in a relationship, I'll prefer not to mention names.
Yeah.
So that no one says anyone fight me or anything and stuff like that. But then my relationship, I could say that it started, though at the time we didn't give it a name or anything. But then the person I was engaged to is someone that I've known since high school. So our families, that's how now our families have gotten close. But then high school, maybe like 2012, since 2012, and that's when I've known him. Yes, and then the relationship officially started 2015 when I came to do my first year at varsity. So at first, I'm a person who's born again. I believe in God. So you know how we are. We don't just rush into relationship. We keep ourselves, marriage and everything and stuff like that. So he was a pastor as well as I'm also a leader in church. So I think that's one of the reasons as well that he never wanted to engage with the relationship like sooner because of that thing. So when I got to
being Christian,
so when I got to varsity, I think, and I was far from Eastern Cape, he's from Eastern Cape, I'm in Gauteng. So I think it kind of all pressurized like, this person, you see other people, other people. So let me just shoot my shot. So that's how now the relationship like officially started in 2015. That's when the relationship was, we're far. So basically,
so it was in Eastern Cape, and then you were here in Gauteng.
Yes, I was in Gauteng. So definitely it was a long distance relationship. So I would see, because our families used to spend like Christmas together. So I would see, at first it was my first relationship. It was my first relationship, and I could say it was nice. We call, we talk, but then I'll only see him maybe like once in a year. You understand? When I go home because it's far, and then I'm busy with church, I'm busy with school, so it got a bit tricky. Things started to get a bit sour when now I became a leader in my church.
Okay.
When
was that? How long had you been in a relationship? Before things got sour.
Okay, actually, this is how before things got sour. Now when I got to Pretoria, I got into another church that is different from where I was. So obviously, born again people ask when you're interested in being with someone in a relationship, you have to talk with the pastor, most especially when it leads to marriage. When it is marriage, maybe if we're just dating, it was not gonna be serious. But then since now we're going to lead to marriage, so he had to talk to the person that was under me at the time, and it's a different person because now I'm no
In a
longer
different
there.
church.
And I was
Yeah.
sure, even now, wherever I was, the church that I was sure about it. Even if I relocate back to Eastern Cape, I'm still part of this one. So the person that was leading me at the time, that was my pastor at the time, he was not really fond of the relationship part. You understand? Was because I don't know whether it's because he didn't trust him or what was happening.
So did your leader or your pastor know the guy?
No, he didn't. He didn't know until, of course, he came later on to Pretoria. But then, since now this person was my pastor, no, my guy, I was trying to build that relationship with him, but then I could actually really see with him.
Oh, the guy was trying to build a
relationship
with your
because
pastor.
this person is one of the important persons to me.
Yeah.
But then I don't want to lie, my pastor could see with his response was very skeptical towards him. He didn't trust him in everything, and it's not a situation I could force, and everything.
Yes.
It was outside my perimeters to control that relationship. If he didn't want to build it, so that's when now the guy will start to talk. They want to come talk marriage and everything and stuff like that. My pastor will just be so passive about it. And so that's when now the thing now started to get him, because my person is very, that he's very full of himself, he's very proud, so he's arrogant. So this person, who does he think he is? Does he know that I know you, I know your family, I know your mother, it's not important, he just came, So that's when now the problem started to everything started to be sour, because now he started to feel threatened that I'm in this church, I should leave and everything and stuff like that. That's when now everything started to get sour. That me now I'm choosing the church, I'm choosing over him. That's where everything started to get bad, to a point whereby there was a time I was transferred to Cape Town to go and start a church in Cape Town. That's where things like really got so bad. It got so bad, like everything got so bad. So that's where everything started getting so bad. And then I think 2017. 2017, I think, or something like that. That's where now, because now this thing that was happening in the church and everything, it was really delaying the process of marriage between me and him, because now there was no sides that were coming together to agree, and the church side is also important to me, so I needed the church to also agree. So it was kind of so everything.
The church not being in alignment with what he wanted or whatever that was happening, that's the thing that delayed the marriage.
Of course, it did delay, because.
So when did you get engaged?
We got engaged around 2017.
Okay.
After I came back, coming from Cape Town, because of the whole process and everything and stuff like that. And I felt like at the time, okay, my pastor, I think he knew that at the time I was not ready for a relationship. Like I've just gotten out of high school. I've just came back. I'm still trying to find myself besides the parameters of parenting and everything. And now he was a person that was established. He knew what he wanted. So as much as in a way I did feel kind of pressurized into this marriage situation, and I think that when my pastor was talking to me, you could see that. So I think I am not ready, and the guy is pushing the thing, is pushing it with the marriage, this marriage, and then like, wait, like just give me time, let's date for now and see where is it gonna lead, you understand, and where is it gonna go, and we do not see each other. So meaning that
a person didn't know each other that much, because like you were in a long distance relationship.
I know him as a brother. I don't know him. How does it behave?
You don't know him as a lover,
as a partner.
What kind of a husband would he be?
What character does he have? Because when someone is, when you get into a relationship with someone, more especially like an intimate relationship like that, that's where you get to see the person's true color and how he behaves. So because I don't know him like that. I don't know him like that. But so I don't know him like that, and then that's when our things got sour. Okay. After we fought, even that 2017, after coming from Japan, it was fight. So like, okay, it's fine. No, I just come and meet my parents and then talk about it. It was my negotiations are sort of like a family type of thing, because they've known each other.
And they formed a relationship because they are family friends. Right? So they're like, this is gonna be great. Our kids are gonna get married to each other. We're gonna be one family.
Okay. But then now my mom, my mom, she's the type. She's the type of person they're really strong relationship. Him and my ex-fiance, they really had like a strong relationship, like long before the marriage thing, because because their mother passed on in 2015. So when my mother passed on, my mother was there, so they treat my mother like as their mother. They show like everything. So they're very close. They're very close. They're very close with them. So my mother called me like this other time, like, you know what, I do love this guy.
guy.
I know he's a good person, everything, but it was like, right now, I want to talk to you as your mother, not now as a person that is favoring him. But my child, this is your relationship. I don't think it will work between the two of you. Like, she made it clear. She was like, I don't want to lie to you. I don't think your relationship will work. And then she started to describe why it wouldn't work. This person, and then I mean, those are things that I've been seeing, you know. But then,
so she was giving you valid reasons, but you were blinded by love.
You know, love. And I'm aware, and I'm like, hey, I've seen these things, you know, love. So she tried to tell me, but then she was like, but I'm not gonna stand in your pride of you. If you wanna go there and you think that, but then she was like, me personally, as I know this person, I love him, I don't think marriage would work here between the two of you, you know. So, and then, you know what?
But that was great of your mom.
Yeah, she was like, but then if you wanna support, I'll support you guys. No, she's not against him. Well, like, I'm not against him. I've taken him as my son. But then right now, I'm your mother first before I become his mother, and I don't think to work. At the time, I'm like, what is this woman saying? Oh, wow, wait. So now when things now started to get like really serious, like things started to get bad, is when I think in a way, as much as all these things were happening, you respected the fact that I was born again in a way. I don't know, when things started to change in the last past 3 years, like I could see this relationship is not working. We are constantly fighting. There's no peace. There's nothing. We're fighting about this. And he's a very arrogant, aggressive person. You understand? And a person that is very manipulative, like of a situation. Like, for example, I'm this type of person. If I have something that is not sitting well with me, I talk it out. I prefer to tell you, who to know you do this. If I can't talk to you like face to face, I'll write you a message. So then now,
but it's important to you that you communicate.
Yeah, that I communicate and deal with it. I don't know any other way. I don't know. Maybe you guys know any. I don't know any other way.
I think
so I'm that type. So I'm that type of person who say, let me talk this thing out. Let me talk this thing out. Let's finish. So the type of person, he doesn't want to deal with situations like that. He just prefers to leave them the way they are, and then he doesn't like to apologize. All those type of things. So I used to tell him things. Then he will tell me, I'm toxic. I'm problematic. Like, he'll try to manipulate the whole situation like around me, understand? And I'm like, okay, it's fine. I didn't say that I'm not wrong, but then I'm bringing this thing because I want to sort it out and move on. Like, I'm in a relationship with you. When I cannot tell me I'm imagining all the problems, you used to say that I overthink, but I'm like, I'm feeling hurt, and you're telling me so those type of things. And then things gotten worse. Like, things got so bad. Like, you know, we lost communication. Like, there's a lot of other factors that I cannot even disclose that are happening that are happening in the relationship. I'm like, okay, it's fine. And then I'm like, you know what? This relationship is not gonna work. Now I was seeing things that, you know, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Like, you know, the signs and everything were there that this relationship is definitely not gonna work. And more especially when you're dealing with someone that he's very manipulative. Oh, that guy, he's very manipulative. That's one thing I hated about him. He's very manipulative.
Okay, so let's get to the point where now you decided, you know what? I'm leaving this relationship. Enough is enough. I'm going to leave this relationship. Yes, I love him. We've been together for a long time. We've been through a lot, but I've had enough. I'm leaving the relationship. The point where you chose yourself and say, you know what, this is not good for me. I'm getting out of this engagement, because it's difficult for a lot of women when like there's that commitment of an engagement or a marriage. Like, but we've already taken the step. How can I now? So how did you decide, and what gave you the strength to say, despite what we've been through, despite the commitment of an engagement, despite our families knowing each other, because it's even trickier with you because your families are friends. So despite all of that, I'm going to leave this relationship because it's not working for me. It's not what I want. It's not going in the direction I wanted to go.
Okay, things started whereby, I could say, we lost communication, like total, like we'll talk, like, and when I try to talk to him, try and make everything and stuff like that. So now the thing now that led me to be like, you know what, I am letting go. It started the previous year. He would
the year before you
like the year before I ended the relationship, like earlier that year, he would come, or maybe I would come and see him, and then he would want like to sleep together, and you know, as born again people don't do that. So I'll try and explain. He'll be very forceful in a way, you know. There's that thing with you find yourself doing it, you understand? You find yourself sleeping there. But then he was very forceful. Are you doing this thing or not? Like, you know, he was arrogant about it. He was forcing myself to do it. So I'm like, you are this guy, I can't. And he started to change, like from the pastor person that I know, he started to change, like to be a different person. And now I knew something was happening, but then he was not telling me. So I was like, you know what?
But you could feel something.
I could feel something was wrong here. Besides, because you changed from the person. So I said, you know what? A lot has been going on here. I cannot be dealing with this and be delaying myself. And I don't think I want to go into this type of relationship. I started to let go of the relationship when I was inside the relationship. I continued to be in a relationship with them, continued to talk, but I was letting go. I was healing. I would cry every night inside. Inside the relationship, I started to let go of the relationship, inside the relationship. And then I think one thing that led to me deciding to totally break off the relationship was that, okay, he moved in earlier last year. Was it that other year? Okay, December that other year, before last year the relationship ended, he moved to Joburg. According to him, he wanted to be closer to me.
To you,
Of which is, I don't really believe that. But then whatever the case may be. So he was staying in Joburg and I was staying in Pretoria. So one time he asked me to visit him. I'm like, oh, okay, it's fine. You know, saying that he was not feeling well and all those type of things. I then visited him. So now the issue of sleeping together, it came back up again. It arose again. And he's very aggressive about it and forceful about it, Gucci. Are you going to do this thing or not? Like, you know, this type of thing. Like, you know, he doesn't give me that option to say I found myself doing it. He doesn't. That night, we fought. I'm like, why? I'm like, but then you are forcing me to do it. And now I'm not ready. You want me to do something that I'm not ready for to go. And I'm like, I can't even sleep with you the way you are behaving, the way you are doing. Even I wanted to eat. Got so bad that night that he fought. He wanted to beat me even that night. He was so aggressive. Imagine I'm in Joburg. It was that time of lockdown and everything.
Him,
and I'm visiting him. What if you are not going to do this thing the way you're behaving? What, leave my house? That time is almost 12. And then imagine I'm in Joburg. I'm like, what? I'm like, where do you expect me to go? There's no taxi if I can get
so
to
he expected you to sleep with him by force. That
so
if I don't sleep with him, then I have nowhere to go.
So we started to fight. So I'm like, okay, but led to the fight, you know, because sometimes when you say this type of thing, I'll keep quiet. He started to like, you are very wicked, you are very stupid. This thing that you're doing is evil. So I came to him, I'm like, our pastor was a pastor. I'm like, Pastor, if one of your members come and say this thing to you, are you gonna do? I'm like, what do you mean I'm being wicked? Because that you came to me knowing what these are the standards. This is what is happening. I never deceived you when we entered into this thing. But Suka, this thing you do is evil. So now I started to both of us started to get emotional.
From a pastor, like
so both of us now started to get So both of us now started to get emotional. Now I'm like, I've been keeping quiet for too long. He's saying, what do you mean I'm evil? And I was not swearing at him, I was giving him points. What do you mean? Facts. So I think the facts made him angry. He was like, he couldn't defend it. So he started to get angry, wanted to beat me. Leave my house. I'm like, what? 12 o'clock and leave Joburg. I'm not going anywhere. If you want to kill me, kill me. I'm gonna leave. I'm not going anywhere. I'm like, people must know that you have killed me. So after the time, that day, I woke up, I think around 4. I took the first taxify. I even taxified. I didn't money, so I taxified. And then we didn't talk for some time. And then the next thing, I think 2 weeks later, or 3 weeks, he never asked me, how did I get there or anything. He didn't even bother. Then 3 weeks later, I just came to my house, like my flat here, where I'm staying. He just came. And then was like, you know, I'm sorry about everything, you know, a lot is happening in my life. He's saying that I've backslided, I started drinking and taking cocaine again, whatever. So that's why I couldn't have, I'm like, you know, brother, do you? Because there's a lot going on there. And then fix yourself. And then I'm going to choose myself, I'm going to choose my kids, because wow, I cannot be in a relationship like this. A lot has been happening, and we are the type of person you don't want to talk about everything. And the reason why now we're talking is because of Nama just decided to leave everything the way it is. Because he knows good, I will always text him. He knows I will always text him. So this time I was just quiet. So that's why I'm like, there's a lot going on.
So he had been waiting for you to say something, and he saw that this girl's not saying.
So he knew when weeks passed that. So it was like years of stuff. So I'm like, I can't do it. I cannot do this thing. I can't do this thing anymore. I choose myself.
I choose yourself.
And I choose my peace. And after, I was not even that hurt because I started letting go of the relationship that time. Yeah.
So is that your advice? Would you advise women out there to heal while they're still in the relationship, to let go while they're still in the relationship, or because other situations are so drastic that the person cannot even begin to heal within the relationship because the person keeps on hurting her. So when she's trying to heal, something else comes. They need to completely disconnect so they can heal. So what's your opinion on that? Because when you healed while you were in the relationship.
Okay, for starters, as a person, not even as a woman, we have that as sixth sense intuition. When something is not going right and it's not gonna work, deep down, even when you're asking for advice, you know already. You know it. So what I'm gonna say is that we grow up in a society whereby this thing of you persevere, a woman, you take it all. But I'm never I didn't to persevere anything that's gonna hurt me. I'm not that kind. I don't have perseverance for nonsense. So what I would say is that it all begins, with loving yourself.
Yeah.
You need to choose yourself first. You need to love yourself, and you need to choose yourself first. So in not every situation, of course, you can heal inside the relationship.
Yeah, but then you need to disconnect.
But then after the relationship, the very first thing, that's how healing starts, is by forgiving the person and forgiving yourself.
We're getting to my point now, the one where you said, I didn't hold a grudge against him because my peace is important to me. So we're getting into forgiveness, the importance of forgiving the very person that hurt you. It's for yourself, it's not for him.
It's for yourself. It's for yourself, it's not for him, because because when we are saying that you are holding something, I'm sure when we are holding something, meaning that you still have it, you still keep it.
Yeah,
so once in a while, it still pops up.
Yeah.
So now there's no way you will think about what had happened, that it doesn't bring the pain that you have went through it. So when you are saying that I'm forgiving the person, you're not denying the fact that I'm hurt. You're not denying the pain, but then you are letting go. You're allowing yourself peace to come to you. A lot of people are saying that I'll never forgive him. I'll never forgive him. The person is there laughing, enjoying their life, and whenever you're holding the pain of it is forgiving. You cannot change the fact that you're hurt. You can't change it, but then you need to start first by forgiving. And either way, whether you are deciding to heal inside the relationship or outside the relationship, the very first step of healing is by forgiving yourself, okay, fine, recognizing that you are hurt and everything, and every small thing that is hurt, you took it.
Not being in denial of the hurt, saying no, I'm fine, but recognizing and accepting that this hurt me, I am hurt.
Yes. So those are the first things. So those are the first thing I started to realize myself, because even after the relationship, I was still inside the relationship, I was still in the relationship. So the letting go, everything was not as much. But then after the relationship, actually did hurt me, because I was planning a life with this man. I was planning a lifetime, with him. We took it's fine. This man, I'm spending the rest of my life. So the very first thing that I did, I wrote everything that had hurt me down. I wrote it down. Took it's fine. This time I called him. He did answer. Even the smallest things, I wrote them down, and I started to accept them. Quickly, it's fine. It has happened. And it has hurt me. It has affected me. I started to accept them, and I started to verbalize my healing. I will, every time the hurt come. Okay, I'm a person that pray every time the hurt come. I'll come. Oh God, I forgive this guy. I will mention his name for this thing and this thing and this thing. I forgive him. I decide to let go. I choose my peace. Understand? So letting go, forgiving is not about. It's not about which
it's not
you
about
are giving them a free pass. It's about you.
It's not about justifying that. No, it's fine. What they did was okay. Yes, you recognize that what they did was wrong and it hurt you, but you don't keep it with you. I like what you said. When you're not forgiving a person, it's like you're holding this thing on you. So it's gonna continue affecting you over and over again because it's with you. But the minute you forgive that person, you are releasing that person, and they no longer have power over you. You can be able to start healing then, but like doing such things as the one you're talking about, as writing everything that hurts you and verbalizing everything that was happening at that time. So can you speak more about that phase of actually forgiving someone? Is it forgetting the pain, or is it, what does forgiveness look like according to you? Because they always say you can forgive but you don't forget, or people say different things, you can never forgive and what. So what does forgiving look like to you?
Okay.
And others have this perception, because if I forgive him, then it means like I no longer think about him, I no longer miss the times that we spent together. But I don't believe it's like that.
First of all, you are with the whether you're forgiven or not, you are still you.
Mm.
Your experiences, you cannot change them. You cannot change them, the things that have impacted you, whether good or bad. Forgiveness, there's no way when we're saying that you're forgiving someone or forgetting them, it doesn't erase the whatever has happened to you. But then it makes you, it gives you power of the situation, because you have accepted the situation and you have decided to let go of the situation, and you have decided to embrace and strengthen yourself out of that pain.
Situation,
you know, out of that pain, because the beauty of forgiveness and dealing with the situation, it allows you to be able to love again. Because now, if you do not forgive and you do not embrace those scars, and that when now as a woman you have conquered this thing, it's not an easy thing. It was not an easy thing, but then you managed to conquer it. It didn't destroy you. That's what forgiveness does with it. I have, you know, when you have a cut here, it doesn't, when I have a cut, let's say someone cut me here, it will heal, it will close. But then it won't change the fact that the cut is still there. But then it's no longer painful. Why? I've allowed it to heal. So that's the thing, that the pain, of course, we'll still think about what he has done to you. You will not forget it. And to make you wiser as well. The other thing is to learn from a mistake. Don't repeat the same thing. Learn from what has hurt you, understand? It must give you that learning experience. Yes, to be okay, it's fine. I am wiser now. I know when thing is going like this, so that you may be able to prevent what has happened.
And also, you've learned so much about yourself. You've learned what you were able to tolerate. You've learned what you want next time you get into a relationship. You know what are your do's and don'ts. You know so much about yourself as a woman, as a person. And also, I think gratitude plays a huge role when it comes to forgiveness. Sometimes, even when you think about the memories that you've had together and all those things, instead of resenting those memories, but be thankful for the good times. Say, I'm thankful that I got to experience something this great. And for the bad times, say, I'm thankful that I got to learn that this about this thing. Just be grateful about the situation.
Definitely, you know. So that's what you need to do. You understand? That's what forgiveness does. Because now, when you are not healed, you understand, you might enter into the next relationship, you enter with the burden of whatever, or you don't want to go again into a relationship because of your experience. You are trying to guard yourself. You are trying to guard yourself. You have trust issues and all those things. I heal because as much as I'm hurt, I still want to get into another relationship. I still want to be happy, and I don't want to give my next guy that comes into my life
the package of the other guy.
The packages, I mean, of the other guy that is scared. You know, this one did this thing to me. I'm giving you a clean slate. Every person that comes into my life, I give you a clean slate. And whatever you may do to me, I always have forgiveness for you. I always have forgiveness in advance, not because of you, but because of me.
Because you don't want to destroy your peace.
I'm carrying someone's pain in my heart. I'm carrying in my heart. No, I always have forgiven in advance because I deserve peace. I deserve to be happy. I
forgive in advance because I deserve peace.
I deserve peace. I deserve to be happy. Because now when I enter into the next relationship, I may not see the good that the other guy is bringing, because now I'm always watching out. Hey, my previous guy did this. I'm always on the lookout.
We were talking about it yesterday. We were talking about this yesterday, that even maybe you're in a new relationship and this guy calls you often, and you're like, why is he calling often? Maybe like he's guilty about something. Or when the guy is not calling, the last guy didn't call and he was doing this, it means this guy is also doing the same thing. Like you just project everything that the other guy
did on the other one. And you know how painful the thing is. You know, when you think about this thing, you're always suspicious, you're always anything. You're on the edge. It's painful. You are not at peace. You are not at peace. You know, you are not at peace. You are not at peace. You're always suspicious. Suspicion and everything. Living on the edge is not a nice feeling to have. Hey, what is he doing now? What is now? Girl, relax and let everything be. And this is the same thing as well that happens. You know, in South Africa we have father issue. We have father issues. So that is the next thing you'll find that a lot of people, they've been forgiven what their fathers or their fathers have put them through. Now it's projecting in the relationship that they're trying to have because they've been forgiven the situation. We are saying forgive. When we are saying forgive, heal, and accept the situation, embrace it, be stronger. We are not saying that you are being in denial of what has happened, but then we are choosing yourself. We want to be okay. I don't know.
You're choosing your
peace. You're choosing you. We are choosing you, that I want to be okay and I want to embrace whatever relationship that comes my way.
Happy. I want to be happy to the fullest.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what do you say to someone who's saying, you know what, Elsie, I've just gotten out of this relationship. It was this long. It was a great relationship, but things started to go sour. And you know what, I'm scared of leaving this relationship because it's all I know, and I've planned, like, because in 5 years' time, I'm going to be doing this. This person is going to be my husband. Because a breakup also is not about what's happening now. It's not. You're not just breaking up with what you have now, but you're breaking up with the future that you had in mind. That you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that. So this lady is saying, I don't have the strength to get out because I've planned my life around this guy. What do you say to that one?
Well, I think I'm the best person to relate to that because I was planning marriage with this man. I mean, I've imagined our 5 years I was living into. You know, you are not happy right now, and you are not happy right now, and you can see that it's not gonna work. As I said, as a person, as a woman, we have that sixth intuition. We have, you know, when something is not gonna work, even if you stay into it, you know, definitely, even if you stay into it, it's either you decide to stay in that relationship and be unhappy and about the things that being unhappy because you are keeping a 5 years that you don't know that you are going to live to see that 5 years because they're unhappy. Or you choose yourself, you choose your peace, you become happy, you allow yourself at another relationship, you know. You cannot saying that it's like the same thing. Someone saying that this relationship is all I know and they are staying in an abusive relationship. The next thing you will die in that relationship. You won't even reach that future that you're talking about. Any future that is giving you pain, is giving you a headache. It's not worth it. As much as I know that it's not easy, you know, when you've done those things. But then I think that's where self-love comes in a way. That let me choose me. It's either you stay in that relationship. You can see this thing is not working right now. You can see the guy, the way he's responding right now. You understand? And then you are saying that you are saying that there's a future. Is that future worth it?
Is that the future you really want? You must
For
ask
yourself
yourself that question.
So, you know, so
Okay, so Tandulak, it's all about the 4 pillars, né? Self-love, self-appreciation, self-acceptance, and self-commitment. So can you speak one thing about those 4 pillars?
So the first one is let's break them.
Self-love. Let's begin with self-love, the foundation of it all.
First love, as I said, let's start from self-love. Self-love is choosing yourself above every other thing, starting with you first. Because you cannot say that, okay, I'm gonna maybe speak based on relationships, since we're speaking on a relationship. You cannot. It shows that there's something lacking in you if you're gonna say that you are choosing to stay in a relationship that is not worth it, doesn't worth it. It shows that you are seeking for love and you haven't found yourself, you don't love yourself. So deciding to seek your peace first and everything and stuff like that, leaving that relationship, it shows that you love yourself. And you cannot expect someone to treat you better and love you if you don't love yourself. Because by you choosing yourself and leaving that relationship that is making you uneasy and everything, it shows that you appreciate yourself and you love yourself.
Let's jump to self-appreciation.
Okay, I think I've just spoken about it. I think
let's jump to self-commitment.
Okay, self-commitment. Being committed to yourself, you know, as much as, you know, they were saying that is cliche, is knowing first of all what you want. And then when you enter into a relationship, or first of all, you enter with a purpose. Okay, it's fine. I want this in a relationship. I want this, you know, because any love that is not defined, any love, and sure you enter into a relationship because you love with someone, but then now if that relationship doesn't have a definition, it's not defined, then that's where now you not know when we are going according to par with that relationship or not. You understand? So now self-commitment is knowing yourself why you're entering into a relationship. Love, the feeling of love and everything is very important, but then also defining why you are in that relationship, then
and sticking to what
So now self-commitment is when you see that this relationship is not going according to what you wanted or how you want a relationship to be. That's being committed to yourself and leaving, or maybe trying to talk it out, or maybe trying to bring it up, I don't know, whenever that thing is being committed to you and what you are. You understand?
Because you went into the relationship knowing this is the kind of relationship I want. And if it's not going in that direction, you must stay committed to those ones that you are. And it's either you talk it out or you leave the relationship, but stay committed to the kind of relationship that you want. And then the last one is self-acceptance.
Self-acceptance. First of all, self-acceptance is accepting yourself. First of all, knowing yourself who you are.
Yeah.
And by knowing yourself who you are, what you want, what is your direction, you understand? Is knowing yourself who you are and what you want and what is your direction. And the other thing is that knowing your strength, knowing where am I strong, and knowing your weakness. No, one thing that led my relationship actually to break up was because of I knew my weakness, and I knew in terms of my weakness where he had strength in, and I'll embrace that strength that he had in my weakness. So one thing that I've seen with him that I'll see that it's not gonna work, when he is weak and I'm strong in something, he doesn't have the capacity to embrace that strength in me.
He has that toxic man ego of not appreciating your strength
when it's like that. But then me, I've got to do that. So that is basically saying what? Self-accepting, accepting yourself, knowing that okay, it's fine. This is how far my capacity can go. So that when you know that I cannot handle this, you don't push yourself because you're gonna end up breaking.
Yeah, you're gonna break.
You're gonna break down, and accepting those things that they are flaws to you. You need to embrace them and accept them. And if you meet someone that is strong in them, please do embrace that strength. Embrace that strength.
Okay, thank you so much, Elsie. You know what? There are many things that I want to talk to you about because you're so interesting. From yesterday's conversation, I was like, hey, this woman is so interesting. She's so interesting. I fell in love with her yesterday, and I was like, today we are doing a video definitely because everyone needs to dip into your wisdom. It's so important because like many people are lost, many girls, many women are lost, they don't know what to do and what not. So if you meet someone with that wisdom, you need to share it with everyone else. You need to take it in first and then share it with everyone. I myself have learned a lot from what you've said. So I hope and I trust that others are gonna learn a lot. Also, this video is actually so long because there's so much wisdom coming from her and we really appreciate it. And she's gonna come back because I want us to do something lighter. This was heavy. She's so funny and she's so bubbly. I want us to do something lighter and maybe someone else will join us as well. So thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Welcome to the Tando Rocket family.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I love you so much and I appreciate you. Bye.
Bye.